Marc, thanks very much for agreeing to talk at the KSS AHSN Respiratory Collaborative in October. Now, you're Professor of Medicine at UCL and Royal Free NHS Trust. So did your role change with the COVID pandemic? In what way?
Yeah, very much. Usually my job is 50% clinical and 50% research. And as soon as it became apparent that there was going to be an enormous clinical workload, I shifted to 100% clinical. So that meant a number of things. Firstly, closing down as efficiently as possible research programs, ensuring that the people who were involved in those programs working with me were okay. And what I mean by that is that those who were going into clinical, it was fine. But for a number of people, they were suddenly going to be based at home and they weren't sure if they actually had a future, which was important to manage. But then from what I then did, I then moved into a shift system that we set up here across the acute medical teams, which involved, of course, respiratory and infectious diseases. I then moved back towards setting up COVID research programs as well. These were, as most of my research is, very clinically focused. So I was concerned, as were a lot of people, about what was going to happen to individuals with their COVID tail.
So lots of ramifications, and some of which, particularly research, that sort of passed some people by. So I'm guessing, Marc, that in London you've had a lot more cases than perhaps we have in acute trusts in KSS. Do you know your numbers?
Yeah, we operate through two acute sites. There's Barnet General Hospital and there's the Royal Free in Hampstead. And across those two sites, we estimate that we had about 1,200 admissions. We think about 30% died, which is astonishing. It's quite astonishing when you think, I mean, what other conditions do you see that number of people coming in over a very short period of time, and almost 1 in 3 of them not going to make it after they've come through the door?
Forward to learning from that experience. It seems increasingly likely there'll be some sort of second wave. Could you today just give us one example of something that you think would do differently next time round?
I think the front door assessment, I think, is really critical. I think what we will do increasingly is actually make the decision, does this person need to be admitted to hospital, or can we provide a level of support that is good enough, and that's got to be pretty good, at home? And if so, what sort of monitoring should we be doing? This concept of the happy hypoxic, in other words, an individual who has low oxygen saturations, who feels surprisingly comfortable, that teaches us a lot. That teaches us that we need to be monitoring people carefully and give them and their families a chance to actually put their hand up and say help if things aren't going right. So better use of services, I would say.
So thanks. So I look forward personally to hearing what you've got to say in October. I'm sure there'll be even more, then. And thanks very much.
Thank you.